Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Monday, October the 24th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined, of course, by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you after a busy weekend?
Yeah, it was a very busy weekend. I was just sitting here thinking it's so weird not having, besides the All-Star break, after 180 games or whatever it's been, to not have any baseball until Friday. It's kind of crazy now.
That's a long streak to wait for the
Yeah.
World Series.
So all of our focus now, besides tonight and Thursday, is on the NBA until Friday. So hopefully we can really dig into this NBA slate. I know I'm really digging in today. And hopefully on Wednesday, when I'm on the podcast next, we'll be able to dig in, even deeper. So
absolutely. I'm fired up. I mean, it's great to get a little sample size so that we're confirmed of rotations. And, what I like to look at, one of the most important things to study in DFS NBA is usage. And we're just about to the point in the next day or two where we can start pulling that usage, and it really has some bite to it. And, I use that in preparing today, but we'll start talking about it on the podcast, probably, on our podcast Wednesday, and just start looking at those numbers, because that, again, it's just has a huge amount to do with how, you can project out player totals and what to expect just based on strictly that usage category, differently compared to, I guess you could sort of like in the NFL for targets for wide receivers, or, in baseball strikeouts, the certain categories and things you can look at that really dictate and affect everything. So I'm fired up, man. I love it. Definitely a great 8-game main slate tonight. That's going to get us be really busy. And, as far as yesterday goes, man, I had everything going well, and I had two guys get hurt.
Yeah. I mean, Ingram and who was the other one you had that got hurt too?
Ingram went down, and then Giddey.
Yeah.
Giddey hurt his ankle pretty good, and Ingram's out concussion protocol. I just read before we got on. So both of those guys are out.
I saw looked like Deb had some nice wins yesterday.
She did
on Draftkings and Yahoo.
She did.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to play her Yahoo lineup. I ran into that whole deal with the whole not crediting my account or whatever until Sunday, and I didn't have time to reserve my lineups in between. So it was just a mess.
Yeah, it was odd yesterday. First of all, we had Draftkings crash for about 15, 20 minutes, just totally went dead.
Right.
That was really odd. And then Yahoo with the delayed payments. I just think it always happens first, 4 to 6 weeks of the NFL. Usually they just get so overwhelmed. I think they just get, just hammered by that. But hopefully they're all getting it done now, and everything looked good today on all three. So I think we're in pretty good shape there.
Yeah.
But for those members that are aboard, it was a good weekend. Topsy turvy. You guys did great in football. With the whole Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs deal. That was beautiful. And
no, it wasn't. It was Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Oh, Joe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Bills were on a high yesterday, so
I'm losing my mind. You're right.
No,
You're right.
Good.
Yeah,
Somebody made a comment here about Green Bay. Green Bay sucked. So yeah. Well, I guess since he brought it up, I'm just going to say it now. I am going to grow my beard until they win a game. I'm going to keep the under part shaved, but as far as the actual beard, I'm going to grow it out until they win a game again.
What if they don't win any more games this season?
I mean, I'm not going to come on here looking too much like a caveman, but I'm going to see how far this thing can go, though.
Who's the baseball guy for that hit the homer the other Marsh?
Yeah.
You're gonna look like Marsh.
Like Brandon Marsh in December. So yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
No,
well,
I'm not. But I think Green Bay will win before then, hopefully. I mean,
I hope so.
It's ugly. But
yeah, the whole that was phenomenal. Burrow Chase. It was a fun Sunday. We did well. So it was good all the way around. Great to have so many people in here. I know we've been shooting the breeze here already 5 minutes. I don't know how that's gone by so quick, but we have a great group in here. And the awesome thing, if you saw the schedule I put out today, all 7 days this week, 4:45, same podcast time, no switches, because all of the games, even on Saturday and Sunday, are later, so we can fit them all in. So you guys can check them out throughout. We'll give away a set of the $3 tickets, a couple sets today. Want to start sharing in the love here with the family. We had a couple new folks jump in. We had a member come back to join us for NBA for the year, and all kinds of people flowing in. Usually that's what happens here when baseball winds down and really basketball gets up and going. So let me say real quick hello to Rodney Pollard, who is the #1 winner of our being in the chat first today. He didn't even get in that early. He snuck in there, though, before Nathan Feudy. How's it going, my friends? Rose is in there. Of course, Mr. David. Earl Tyson. I call him Mike. And I hope you don't mind that, Earl. Just a little I like to throw, because you're so damn tough. You knock people out in these contests. Who else is in there? Earl's chatting. Payne Blank SM, Dead Presidents / Dead Presidents. What's up? Doug L. Money Marty 24. Is that a new person?
I don't recognize that name. I don't recognize Dogon SS. I don't recognize that name.
Awesome. New folks, yeah. Welcome. Stacks Money 77. We know him. JT's in here. Trumpus. He's been in here. Abe Lincoln is the president is back. Hello, Commander in Chief. Of course, our buddy Niall Simmons. Aloysius 5. Not to be confused with Aloysius 4 or 6. Roddy King of Smack, of course. What else do we have? Joe K, Jumpin' Joe K in the house. Coach Mom's there with us today. What's up, Coach Mom? King of all trades. Now, did I miss any big questions or anything? I just was looking at names. Do we have any big questions that we have to deal with?
I haven't seen any yet, but I wanted to remind you of something, because I don't know if this got out or not, but did Rodney Pollard get a hold of you, because he was our winner Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
We took care of that. I did take care of Rodney Pollard. He is all set. Let me see here. What other questions? I just want to make sure, because when we get going here, we're going to be a maniac. Earl Tyson never plays Fanduel, by the way. Did you know that? He does not care about our Fanduel picks. That's a joke. Earl's Mr. Fanduel.
Mr. Fanduel. Yeah.
And we will get some Fanduel picks for you, Earl. I promise you that.
Cat center on Fanduel. Probably not my favorite pick, but
who did he say?
Cat at center on Fanduel.
Yeah. I played Cat the other day. I mean, we'll go through it for sure. I don't know if I said hello to Absolute Power or not. I might not have. Boy from Cali is in there. Okay. Money Monday. That's right. This is Money Monday. This is where we get serious here. Best stackable game. Well, let me answer that one real quick. I'm not a big stacker in basketball. I think you really take a chance there. If you're playing a single bullet or two in some of the big money contests and crazy GPPs, and you're doing it for the hell of it, and you want to take a shot at a game that maybe goes 140, 137 in double overtime, and you need a bunch of exposure to that game, then yeah, you can go for it. But a general build in a single entry cash game, you want to pretty much maybe 2 guys from a team, because there's only so much output that you're going to get. And there's going to be an occasional game with like the 2 worst defensive teams where you can get a little bit more aggressive. But I'd prefer in situations like that to go 2v2. I mean, if you have 4 guys from that game, it better be pretty high scoring. But if you stack, 4 guys from a team, really your only path to winning big is if that game just goes absolutely ape shit or double overtime or something crazy. So I wouldn't recommend like in baseball where you want to stack and different things like that. So I would say the best bet, and I've talked about this a lot, and then we're going to get right into this, is, get the contests selected, get them set, early the morning or the night before so that you get the contests that you want. They're posted on DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo early enough. Then start building a lineup, check out, the information that we're putting in Discord throughout the day, get that lineup just a little massage so you don't have just all dead wood in there. And then once you have the podcast on, what I would do in your shoes is I would put that on. And as we're talking and you really like a point about somebody, pop them in the lineup, start making tweaks. Then at least you're really close to having that lineup ready. Then when we're done, we're in Discord and we're putting full lineups in FanDuel, Yahoo, and then DraftKings course, and you can do the final tweaks for members there. So would be the path that I would take. So there we go. But anyway, really do appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody. If I do call your name and you win a couple of those Millie Maker tickets, definitely check us out on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. DM me your PayPal email, and we will send you those right away. The first winner today is Rose Miller. Rose, you are the winner of the first set of tickets. So shoot me that information and we will get it to you. 8 games. It's so nice not having to worry about weather and all that crap like you have in baseball. We just know who we're going to get, what's going to happen, and how we're going to roll. So I will check if you have any questions when we're going through these. Throw them in chat. We will get after them, and we'll start breaking everything down. All right, game 1, Crash. I'm fired up. Here we go, 7 o'clock. The Indiana Pacers are 1-2. Playing the 0-3 Sixers. The 0-3 Sixers. And they lost. Did they lose to the Spurs?
Yeah, I think they did.
How? Can you please explain that to me?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's
crap.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I couldn't believe it.
They have really got off to a slow start. I mean, they had a close game against Milwaukee, and who else did they lose to?
Clippers, I think.
Yeah, the Clippers, maybe. Yeah,
but not the Spurs is inexcusable. But anyway, today they're a 12-point home favorite and a nice big 229.5 total. We know that the Pacers don't play good D. We know that Turner and Tice, their 2 bigs, are out again. And so this is going to draw a lot of interest right out of the chute here. And with the 12-point spread, it's a little scary. 229.5, pretty damn good. So what's your initial take on the breakdown of this game?
I've got this game is, I think it's probably going to be a little bit higher owned. It seems like the Pacers are getting quite a bit of ownership this year to me, their games anyway. I like on the Pacers, Halliburton. I think he's in play. He's 8,300 on DraftKings, 8,500 on FanDuel, $37 on Yahoo. Not going to go to Batadze against Embiid. I think that's a terrible matchup for him. I know he had that big game against Detroit, but I think that's
he really did.
Yeah, he really did. James Harden is one of my favorite plays on the slate. I just really like the way that he's looked this year. He's slimmed down and he's just playing so much better, more like the James Harden that we were used to in Houston. 9,000 on DraftKings. I think that's a little bit too cheap for how he's been playing. 10,000 on FanDuel, probably a little bit more appropriately priced, and then $40 on Yahoo. Not a bad value over there. So, not my highest targeted game. Probably a one-off from each team, and that's about it for me.
Okay, and the odd thing is, even though it's a 229.5 total, and that seems like pretty dominating, it's 4th out of 8.
I know.
There's 3 games over 233. So. Yeah. It's not like, the other day where 229.5 was the biggest number. So it's a little bit different. So the big situation here is, first of all, I'm not going to fall for the terrible triad of big guys for the Pacers. Jalen Smith, Terry Taylor, and of course, Goga Batadze. Those are going to be the guys that are going to split minutes, and somebody's going to be tasked with Joel Embiid, or they're going to take turns. And I don't think that's going to be very pretty. Yeah. So I don't trust. I know a lot of people on the ownership side are looking at some of the big men from the Pacers. First of all, Embiid's one of the best interior defenders in the league. Secondly, these guys are going to have trouble staying out of foul trouble.
Right.
And I just think that, I'm with you. On the only guy I'd look at on the Pacers side is Halliburton. But, he's going to have a big game for them to stay in this. Although I say that in the Sixers lost to the damn Spurs. So, I guess anything's possible. But, that's really the only spot I'd go. Buddy Hield does not look good yet. And just not, he's a streak shooter. And you do want to grab him when he's hot, but he's not, just yet. Jalen Smith, they have a tendency to baby it a little bit. So that would be the guy I'd like of the three, but I'm not going there. So I will have no Pacers today. I am a little worried as far as stack, if you will, for anybody that wants to go like all in and go Harden and Embiid. I would understand that because they're two of the best projections on the board. I don't think it's worth the risk, though. I mean, I could make a really good case for Harden. I can make a really good case for Embiid. And I will have one of those two guys in my lineup. And I keep flipping it back and forth. So I'm not, I never belly flop on here about stuff, but I just haven't decided between those two guys yet. I'm going to keep on reading some stuff, but I will have one of those two guys in my lineup as a big pay up option. But it's just too risky, I think, with 16 teams playing to go all in on a team like that. And if Philly gets a decent lead, which they may just kick the tail of the Pacers. If they do, then, the first guy generally off the floor is going to be Embiid. And, that's a bit of a concern. So slight edge to Harden, still considering Embiid, but I'm going right to the meat with Philly if I go anywhere there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, 30 minutes later. And we need some news still in this game, and you can let me know if anything's been updated as we're going. But it's the Toronto Raptors 1-2 against the Miami Heat 1-2. A lot of teams that were supposed to be awesome off to shaky starts. Very interesting. And then you've got Scotty Barnes is dinged up, very questionable there. We know Otto Porter is out, and then Miami has Jovic. You saw the fight the other day, that whole deal with Martin suspended. So Jovic, Martin, Oladipo, and Yurtseven are all out for the Heat. Heat only a 3.5 point favorite and a really crappy total here of 215. So I guess my question to you is, yes, Miami shorthanded a little bit. So is there any direction you go there? Do you expect this game to stay as close as Vegas thinks? And if Barnes sits, it does elevate some guys there. So as bad of a game on paper, as far as from a DFS standpoint, great game to watch, not a great game for DFS. Are you going to go here at all?
I actually like this game.
Really?
I have Van Vliet as one of my top point guards on Fanduel. He's only 7,300. I don't like him on Draftkings at 8,600.
Right.
He's $30 on Yahoo. That's a good price for him. And then if Scotty Barnes is out, I think it helps both Siakam and Anunoby. So I like both of them on all three sites. And, we just had this matchup literally the other day on Saturday. Right. So the exact same matchup, exact same location. I mean, that seems like pretty rare to me that the NBA does that. But that's what happened. So I like a lot of the same guys I liked the other day. Siakam, like I said, he's had really good success against the Heat. I like him again, especially if Barnes is out. And then Lowry has been good against his former team in Toronto. So those will probably be my top plays. I don't, like you said the other day, I don't like how Bam has looked. Just has not looked like the same Bam Adebayo that we've seen in the past. And until that changes, I'm not going to go to him. Tyler Hero is too high owned for me. I'm not going to go to him. I think Lowry's probably going to be my only play on Miami, but I do have 2 or 3 guys I like on Toronto. So,
yep. Yeah. I just don't like this game. I'm on the opposite side here. I watched some of it the other day, and just, the tempo, like I expected, wasn't great. You have two brilliant defensive-minded coaches. Bum Adebayo is just, really he's just playing terrible. He just doesn't look right. Pascal Siakam's going to get a lot of ownership, but he's expensive. I don't want to go there. I don't feel it. Now, the only thing that I'm considering, because it's a gross underprice, that's why I hate this, because I normally wouldn't have played him, but at 7,300 on DraftKings, that's a ridiculous price for Van Vliet. I mean, that's just a misprice. He needs to be at least 8,300. So because of that, he may get some ownership from me from DraftKings. But other than that, I really just don't want to go there. Hero is, like you said, way too chalky, and we'll go over ownership. We'll do one more game, and then we'll hit the ownership and talk about that, so we have that on the way in. But this is going to pretty much be a pass game for me, just because of the tempo, the defensive prowess, and you got a lot of guys that just aren't playing that great. Yes, Siakam's playing decent, and Hero's playing decent, but in these matchups, a little bit tougher. All right, 7:30. We've got the 0-3 Orlando Magic against the 1-1 New York Knicks. Knicks are a 7.5-point home favorite, 221.5 total. Orlando's half their team is out already, 3 games into the season. We know Fultz, Harris, Isaac, Suggs, and Mo Wagner all out. Only guy out for the Knicks is Grimes. So you've got, the whole group from the Knicks that usually plays the big minutes, and that always gets attention here, and I think deservedly so. And then, Orlando, just mainly because of the shorthandedness, I think brings a few guys into play here. So what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I like on Orlando. I do like Banchero again. I know the other day against Boston, I didn't like him as much, but I do like him. He's 7,600 on DraftKings, 7,500 on Fanduel, $30 on Yahoo. I think that's a solid price. And then I like on the Knicks, I like RJ Barrett. I think this is going to be a good game for him. He's only 6,300 on FanDuel. He's 7,100 on DraftKings, $28 on Yahoo. So probably just a one-off from each side here for me, but Banchero and Barrett would definitely be my top 2 picks.
Okay. And by the way, I learned for sure how to pronounce this properly, because he is going to be a star in this league. And I called him Banchero for a while, but it is Banchero.
Okay.
And Paulo is so damn good. I like him in this game. I think he's the real deal. He's their go-to guy.
Yeah.
He takes the big shots. He can hit the big shots. For a Tibbs team, the Knicks defense hasn't been as crisp as it usually looks to me. I don't know if it's because they're rotating some of their bigs and they have a different look, or what the deal is, but Banchero is in play for me today. Wendell Carter, I'm not going to play both bigs from their side, but I do like Wendell Carter just for consistency, his minutes, and he's been very solid. He shot the ball pretty well early on here. So those are the 2 guys interest-wise for me on the Orlando side. Usage, Banchero is leading Orlando in usage as a rookie. He's the only rookie leading their team in usage right now. So that is something to take note of here.
Yeah.
On the Knicks side, who I really like today? He's one of my favorite plays. It's Jalen Brunson.
That's to say that's Jalen Brunson.
I really think it's a perfect spot for him. The fact that they have to start Terrence Ross, he's a terrible defender. That defense is really struggling. And I just think Brunson, home game, I think he's going to go off here. I really do. I think he has a great game. Now, it's a 7.5-point spread. So, again, if Thibodeau doesn't have a 25-point lead, he's still going to play his guys. So you don't have to sweat it like you do, like a Spoelstra or something that would pull guys pretty quick. So I'm not as worried about Brunson getting yanked. And I think you could go to a second Nick, in my opinion, if you wanted to. Yeah, I think Julius Randle's a nice play.
Yeah.
I think if you don't go there, RJ Barrett also can be considered. Those would be the other 2 that I'd look at after Brunson. What I don't want, though, is all of a sudden we've got a center share with the Knicks with Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. So I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, Banchero is not getting a lot of ownership, and honestly, neither is Julius Randle. So I think you could probably play both of those guys.
I think this game's going overlooked because you have those 3 games that are in the 230s. And, people see this 221.5. They figure the Knicks, Thibodeau play slower, and they don't play that slow anymore. They've sped it up a little bit, and their games are a little bit higher scoring, and Orlando's horrible defensively. Yeah. So, if I'm going to play this game, Banchero's got to play well to keep them in it. And if that's the case, then Brunson or Randall on the other side, it would fit perfectly, but it also could bust. If the Knicks get up 18 and, it's just a shit show, then you could have some difficulty in this game. So it's not a lock washer category, but I think it's a game that's going to go under owned and deserves to get a little bit more play.
And Julius Randle's had some nice games, 3 of his last 4. His last game was only 23.5, but before that 69.7, 45.5, and 56.5. So pretty solid numbers against, as you would expect, Orlando not being a powerhouse. So
I love that Rodney Pollard said that. That is a great point, man. Cole Anthony gets up for games against the Knicks in Madison Square because he grew up with his dad, Greg Anthony, as the point guard for the Knicks in Madison Square. So that's his home court, if you will. So you've got Brunson, who's from that area and was a Knicks fan as a kid, and Cole Anthony. So Anthony's not a bad play either. He really isn't, especially the fact that Suggs is out. I'm a big Cole Anthony guy. He was one of my most roster guys last year. The only problem with him is he does occasionally get a little cold from the field. So you gotta pick your spots there. But I agree with you, Rodney, and I like the narrative. And you're right. He does get up 4 games in Madison Square because of his dad. There's no doubt about it.
True.
All right, let's see. Let me take a look here. Let's go to, how about we look at ownership a little bit? How's that sound?
Yeah, I've been looking at ownership. That sounds good.
All right, folks. Let me give you some of the top projected ownership here on DraftKings. Give you the top 10, Crash. And I know it's a lot to absorb in everybody's brains, but this is where you got to listen or take notes or do whatever, or re-listen to it. And if any of these have any leverage plays for you as we go over them through the day, through these games, then you're going to want to mark that. All right, right now, Devin Vassell at $5,400 is projected at 35%. Kelly Olynyk's only $5,200, so he's at 33%. He smashed for me yesterday. Lauri Markkanen, who's been phenomenal. And so my tip of my cap, he just burned the living daylights out of a team that I thought would defend him well and crushed it. He's been on a roll. He's only 6,400, still grossly underpriced for the way he's playing, but you do have to swallow 33% ownership share expectation. Jalen Green, who's been terrific, still a little low priced at 6,300, is at 26. Your man James Harden, 24 at 9,000. Here's a real nice wild card play that I've been using too because he's underpriced, and that's Josh Hart is only 5,600. He's 24%. We talked about the chalky Tyler Hero, 6,500 at 21%. The other Houston guard, Kevin Porter, Houston getting some play today. He's on 7,300 at 20%. Desmond Bane, it looks like Brooks may be out, so we have to follow, make sure that's the case. But Bane's only 6,500 with about a 20% share. And then this one was a little surprising to me. Ben Simmons at 20% share at 6,600. Yeah, that's a little bit of a reach scoring, and I don't know, maybe not. We'll see.
He's even higher projected on Fanduel. So
it's wild. Trey Jones is a great cheap point guard if that's where you're going to buy down. He's only 5,000 at 19%. Joel Embiid only 18%, which is super low for him. But he is 10.5, so there is you got to bite off that salary. Then the Spurs, and everybody's owning the Spurs constantly. I love DFS, man. You just never know. Like Keldon Johnson's right here at 18% at 6,900. Here's a guy that you're going to love. So he's 13th overall. Usman Garuba.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think he'd be in the top 13 projected ownership?
it makes sense with Sengun is questionable and Fernando's out, so it does make sense.
Garuba, $3,500, 17% projected ownership.
Yeah.
And then Jakob Poeltl, 6,300, 14%. Cole Anthony, as Rodney pointed out there, people are going to go to him, 6,200 at 14%. So that gives you a really good feel. And then a real fast rundown to solidify it on FanDuel. The ownership start. The guys I'm going to give you are from Kelly Olynyk at an insane 48%. That's a big number. Down to 20% owned. So here they are. Kelly Olynyk, Ben Simmons, second highest owned. Embiid, Jalen Green, Devin Vassell again, Kevin Porter. So everybody's on the Houston backcourt. Desmond Bane, Ant slides in there. One of my favorites, Anthony Edwards at a fair price. Tyler Hero again, chalky. Josh Hart at his low price. RJ Barrett, like I said, he's on my radar. Cole Anthony and Trey Jones. And then we'll hit Yahoo. Kelly Olynyk, 51% owned at $12 on Yahoo. So, I mean, I think, is that a plug and play on Yahoo for $12?
It's got to be.
I think so.
Yeah.
Markkanen, 49%. Devin Vassell, Josh Hart, Joel Embiid, a lot of the same names. James Harden, Ben Simmons, Desmond Bane, Jordan Clarkson. He looked like dirt the other day when I played him. Kevin Porter, Jalen Green. So the backcourt, both 21% owned, projected on Yahoo. I would not play both. Jason Tatum sneaks in there at 19%. And then Bam's pulling down ownership still. They don't know that he officially changes A to a U, and it's bum out of bio. And then, are you ready for this one? Royce O'Neal, for God's sakes.
Holy cow.
19%.
Wow.
No, nobody's safe, man. Anybody can be in the lineups. It's crazy.
Royce O'Neal. Dang. Yes. I did not see that coming.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Deb is in the house, so buckle it up now. We got to get serious.
Yeah.
I'm glad that all that trash talk you were doing about how much the Phoenix Suns stink and they're on a dive crash. You should have heard him, Deb. It was terrible.
No,
hello, Miss Lutz. She gets how come she gets to be called Miss Lutz and gets all these compliments? And they just, we're just chopped liver to compare it to Deb. You know how that goes. All right. Let's get back in it. Conley is playing. What is this? You believe Conley is playing?
Like Conley? I thought he was.
Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't usually play back-to-backs, though. So we're going to have to really follow that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The Bam disrespect. I know Villar Schuler. I played him the other day, and he couldn't make a shot. He looked totally out of sync. I'm a big Bam fan. That's the sad part. But, I mean, it's been several consistent games at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year. He looks like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to turn that around. I've been known to – I'll give him the U back for the A, but or the A back for the U, whatever. But he's got to turn it around, man. Yes, Markkanen is killing it. He was the guy that the Cavs gave up that was painful. I like the Cavs. I'm going to go to some Cavs games this year, but he is playing great. The key with Markkanen, and I said it early on, I expected him to be great unless he gets hurt, and he gets hurt a lot. So let's hope he stays healthy.
Looks like, unless I've got bad information here, it looks like Conley's going to play. He's upgraded to probable. So yeah, and that very well could be the case, no doubt about it. All right, we go on to game 4, the 8:00 variety, and there's 4 of them, and then we have a 10:00 game. We have to wait 2 hours for the last game, Crash. I know.
Why is that?
I don't know. We had to do that the other day too when when you and I were doing a slate. So
it's monster sweat till the last game. So
yeah.
This first 8 o'clock game is a 3-0 Boston Celtics. Everybody's going ballistic for the Celtics. 1-2 Chicago Bulls. We know Gallinari and Robert Williams. That's old news. They're out for Boston. Lonzo Ball, old news. So it's the regulars going at it. And then the $9 million question: do you play Brown or do you play Tatum, or are either one playable? Boston's a road favorite by 6, and you have a fair over/under 225.5. So how do you see this game playing out? You're usually on one of these Celtics.
Yeah, I like Jason Tatum. I mean, he's averaging 56. It's only been a few games, but 56 Draftkings points per game. So
yep.
He has the higher ceiling for me, and he is obviously more expensive, but I think if you can get to Tatum, if you can make it work, I think he's one of the best plays on the slate. I'm not going to get to DeRozan. I think the Boston's defense is going to give him fits. I really don't like anybody on Chicago, honestly. So either Tatum or Brown, depending on your salary that's available, and that's it for me.
Yeah, the only guy that I like a little bit is Zach LaVine. I just think that I don't know if he's fully healthy. I don't know if he's going to get, I want every single second out of him on the court, but he did look really good the other day when he played, and he's going to have a monster game for them to stay in it. So I'm going to consider him. I think his price is fair.
You think he'll get Marcus Smart defense though?
Probably, but he can shoot over Marcus. He's scored on Marcus in the past. Marcus has had a little bit of difficulty with him. Now, the fact that he can rise up the way he does, I mean, he's got one of the highest release jump shots in the league, if not the highest. I would like to see, what that one is. Unless, like Markin and those guys are 7 feet, but LaVine, as far as a guard and just pure jump shot, I mean, he can shoot over Marcus, and that's why I think those are usually the kind of guards that give him a little bit of trouble, ones that can shoot over him.
Yeah.
But I think LaVine's going to be lower owned, and I like that angle. But, I think the Boston's just playing great ball now, but I just always sit there and just can't pull the trigger between the Brown Tatum scenario, because, you always have Tatum a little more expensive, but I think Brown's just as capable here. I like Patrick Williams' defense, and I like Javonte Green's defense. And those are the two guys that are going to be tasked with guarding Jason Tatum a lot. And I think that they'll do pretty well against him. I'd almost lean a little bit towards Jaylen Brown. He'll get some DeRozan and maybe even a little LaVine, depending on how the rotation goes. But I don't think I'm going to do it. I like these 230-something games, the three of them coming up. That I just don't want to spend all that cash on the Boston guys. For me early on, I think you commit to some salary with Philly or you commit to salary with Boston. But if you do both, here's my concern with that. If you go, and this is just me thinking out loud, if you do go Harden and Tatum, that does scrap you a little bit for these next, 235 total games. That's the only thing.
Right.
So, just my 2 cents. Not that I'm trying to talk you out of it. I mean, it could be the winning way to go, but we do have some big, some good matchups for DFS coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really all from this game for me. It's not going to be a key game in my book.
Yeah, it's not for me either. Like I said, either Tatum or Brown if I had to play anybody, and then I don't really like anybody on the Bulls. So
Deb's giving me the backup. She's with me on Brown over Tatum. Yeah. Yes. Conley playing in a back-to-back is a trap. I agree. First of all, I don't think Conley's a very good play ever right now. He's not that good anymore. And they have other guys stepping up, and on a back-to-back, I would never trust him because here's the thing. He will not be on that team at the trade deadline, period. He's the last guy. They'll move him. A contender will get him. The last thing they want to do is the dude to get hurt, because they lose all the trade value. So they're not going to ever overplay him. So I would not, to me, I wouldn't touch him. Even if he plays, so be it. But I just wouldn't do it. Let's see. All right. Let's go to the 3-0 Utah Jazz. How about that?
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
3-0 Utah Jazz against the 0-3 Houston Rockets. So more of the same. We've got Azubuike out for Utah still. And then, of course, Sengun is out. And it doesn't look like we're going to get Fernando, Tate, or Ty Washington. They're still going to be out. So because of some of the thinness, I think, in the backcourt of Houston, you're getting a lot of Porter and Green ownership. Utah's played good ball, man. It's hard to combat that. You know, I know everybody in the world is diving on Markkanen. I talked about him a ton in the preview show, in the first game or two. And then I faded him the other day. He was my big fade and he crushed me. So I am not going to be a big sissy and go right back to him here with my tail between my legs. I don't know. Markkanen's tempting, but his price is up a little bit. What are you going to do in this game, Crash?
Well, I'm mostly providing GPP type lineups, so I'm probably not going to go to him. But if I were playing single entry or cash, I do think he's a good play on DraftKings at only 6,400.
It's still too cheap.
$21 on Yahoo, 76 on Fanduel. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get to that. I just like Edwards and Ben Caro.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm probably not going to get to him. I think I like Jordan Clarkson a little bit more than you against Houston. I just like guards against them in general.
Yeah.
And then I like Vanderbilt. 4,700 on DraftKings, still too cheap. $14 on Yahoo, again too cheap.
Yeah.
6,000 on FanDuel, not going to go there. Kelly Olynyk, I think, is a good play. 5,200 on DraftKings, and like we said before, only $12 on Yahoo and 4,800 on FanDuel. So probably four guys, honestly, from Utah for me in this game, and probably going to fade Markkanen in my GPP lineups.
Well, boy from Cali, where's the chalk line or rub the face in the chalk here? Because everybody's flocking to Utah. They're 3-0. They're playing good. They're playing a crappy Houston team. I think it's a trap, dude. Don't stack the Jazz. Yes.
Are we gonna do another bet on this one, Coach? Do you want to go bald again on another podcast?
Who are you talking? Who do you want to battle here? Houston and
Utah. About Utah, yeah.
Utah's favored by 2.5. I'll take Houston in 2.5 for a bald show.
Okay.
Houston's going to win this game.
Okay.
You heard it here first. All right. So the next Wednesday show, be prepared to lose that hat because Houston's going to step up and win this game today. And here's the thing. I am going to have exposure here. It's that 234.5 number is a great number. And I'm just not going to stack Utah. I'll probably eat the chalk on Kelly O. Or if I do, possibly a Vanderbilt or Markkanen. I didn't like the way Clarkson looked. Again, eye test of it, he didn't look sharp. He is streaky. Houston doesn't play any defense. He could go ballistic. I get it. But for me, I think Markkanen, Vanderbilt, Olynyk, I'm going to choose just one probably. But I'm going to come back on the other side, possibly with a little bit more gas here. I like Porter. I like Green. And I like, if I'm going to save my big money, Garuba, I don't think is the worst choice you can make.
I don't either. I like Garuba. I think
especially, where you don't have to use the center spot. You can use him as that extra player. He is in play for me. So I'll have probably 3 guys from this game. And maybe not the ones that are going to be total chalk for everybody else. But as weird as it sounds, you know me, I never played 2 guys. And I said it earlier, I was worried to have 2 backcourt guys from the same team as chalk and maybe not go with both of them. But if I played 2 builds, I'll probably have Porter in one and Green in the other. But I'm a big Jalen Green fan. I DraftKings wearing the hat today, so it's a coincidence. They sent us from Coach Talk to that Houston game last year against the Lakers, and got to watch us. And Green went ballistic, and just, when you see something in person, it's even more real to you. And man, that kid is really talented. Watching him away from the ball and everything he does, he's going to be a top scorer in this league in no time at all. So top scorer for Houston DFS for me, it's going to be Jalen Green. I think Green, then Porter. Those are the two safest plays. And then I think as a flyer where you're trying to build a lineup where you're saving cash to have another buy up where you can get an Embiid or somebody, I don't think Garuba is the worst play today. I really don't. He's a talented kid. If he gets the minutes in the pace they're going to play, and Kelly Olynyk plays 4 more than he does 5 in his career, so they don't really have a demanding inside presence. Utah, they've just been winning by shooting the ball well. So I think this game's high scoring. I think if you don't have good exposure to this game, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. We have 3 games left. We have another high scoring one here. Same exact total, Crash. 234.5, but a bigger favorite. The home team, Minnesota, is an 8.5 point favorite against the San Antonio Spurs. Both teams are 2-1. So Doc making me look like a dumbass again, or I mean Pop making me look like an idiot because I really thought they would win like 12 or 13 games this year. They're 2-1, for God's sakes, with like the worst team I've ever seen. I just don't know how they're doing it. Here's my theory tonight, Crash. This is my big take. So this is my hot take for the day. You ready? Minnesota wins this game by 25, and I am going to fade this game because of the massive blowout. People are going to own the Spurs like crazy. We again have 3 of the top 15 Spurs, and everybody's going to flock to Russell, Edwards, Towns specifically, and try to make this 234.5 be the be all win all game. I'm not going to do it. This is going to be my stance. This is why we're not like everybody else, and just not to be negative about anybody else, but we're not just going to stack all these 235 games. And you've got to make your choices. I think this game blows out. I don't think 8.5 is enough. I think Minnesota hammers them. And for that reason alone, because of 2 reasons. One, I think they don't get full run. Secondly, I don't like the ownership on both of these sides because they're both owned a ton. So there you go. There's my out on a limb coach take right there.
Okay. I do like Rudy Gobert. I really like the way he's looked. He's at like 3% ownership on Draftkings and Fanduel, so I don't mind going to him.
Though.
Yeah, I still don't mind going to him. Okay. And I'm probably going to fade Devin Vassell. He's just going to be so highly owned. And like you said, if this game doesn't stay close, I mean, he's in big trouble. And then Jakob Poeltl is also getting a lot of ownership. So I'm definitely fading him against, Gobert defense. I mean, that's just going to be tough. So,
yeah. By the way, I think Keldon Johnson is way better player than Devin Vassell, in my opinion. I would go to Keldon Johnson for those that are playing this game over Devin Vassell.
He's kind of the afterthought on that USA team, but he was on that team. I don't know how many people realize that, but
that's right. Well, yeah, that was Pop though too, but we know how that goes. So that's going to be a key game for me. In the fact that I'm going to be rooting for low scoring or as far as blowout and not a real high score. So we'll see how it rolls. So nobody's yelling at me in chat, so they don't think I'm crazy. So that's a good thing. So we'll see how that rolls. All right, we have the last 8 o'clock game, and this I'm definitely interested here. You've got the 1-1 Brooklyn Nets against the 2-1 Memphis Grizzlies. Basically a pick 'em right now. It's sitting Memphis by 1 with a nice 233 total. Key game. I think this is a nice DFS game here. This one I'm interested in.
Yeah, there are some plays that I like in this game. Also, a fade for me is going to be Kevin Durant. I don't like him in this matchup. He's had, I think, 8 of his last 9 games against Memphis where he scored less than 30 points. So
odd that a team holds him down,
Yeah, but they have. I'm sure Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane have had a lot to do with that. But I do like going back to the value with Santi Aldama again. I really like him. I think that this is a good spot for him after he let us down last game. And, of course, Ja Morant. I mean, I don't know how you don't at least consider him on an 8-game slate going up against Kyrie Irving. I think it's a pretty good matchup for him. So
for sure.
I don't really like anyone on Brooklyn except for Kyrie Irving, kind of running it back with the same thought process. Ja Morant hasn't been the best defender at times, so I think Kyrie Irving could have a good game too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't mention, by the way, Curry, Morris, and Warren remain out for Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks is the one we need to find out about, and it's very important too. That's information that will change my ownership in this game, if he plays or not. Green, Jackson, and Williams are out for Memphis. The reason I say that is I do think a lot of Durant's issues against Memphis are strictly because of Dillon Brooks. He's a real irritant, and he really gets on Durant's nerves. No, he does not. They do not like each other, and Brooks has a way to get under people's skin. So if he doesn't play, I think that's a plus for Durant. But if he does play, then certainly no consideration for me there.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite pay up play today is, we talk about our pay up value and fade guy. It is Ja Morant. I really like Ja today. I'm not afraid to pay up. I think this matchup is great. I think this game is going to be high scoring. I think you could easily, like you said, come back with Kyrie on the other side. Yeah. Both of them could have monster games. Neither one of them defends very well. And I think just a great spot for Ja. Again, some consideration for Durant, but I want to see the Brooks news. I sort of like Nick Claxton for a GPP cheap big. What do you think of Nick Claxton?
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him the other day. That was the first thing that stood out to me. He cut off his hair, and he looks like a completely different dude. So
I know.
But no, I like that play. I mean, he'll be low owned, that's for sure. So
I mean, Adams is great. He takes up a lot of space, but Claxton's just so quick. And just getting to the glass and finishing and alley-oop. I just think
the pace of the game
low owned.
Yeah, I think the pace of the game is perfect for his style. So
exactly. Yeah, he's gonna get some alley-oops and some finishes. What about this Ben Simmons noise being a top 10 owned projection?
No, not for me.
I mean, when you roster Simmons and you're watching the game and you're wanting him to score, it's like watching a tooth get pulled. It's painful because when he does get out in the open court, he's awesome. He can finish. He can rebound. He does get a lot of DFS points in different ways. But man, just to get 10 points at times, you're just sweating it. Real points.
Yeah. I mean, I think when he was with Embiid, that was a really good fit for him, but there's nobody like that on Brooklyn. So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God, I am so sorry, Skylar. I do remember us talking. Skylar Villar, not Schumer.
Oh, yeah. Skylar, yeah.
Remember Skylar? Yeah. So sorry about that, man. Now, I'm glad you I'll remember that going forward. I'm the worst at pronouncing everybody on there. Who that one day that guy never came back. I mispronounced his name so bad.
Oh no.
No question. Simmons, the reason he's getting ownership is because we know he can have 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists. Let's face it. That is always in play for Simmons. And this is the kind of game that he could get it because of the pace. But you got to have a little courage there because there are going to be times where it's just, again, that the scoring capacity and just zero range makes it very difficult. But I'm with you, man. I got you for sure.
I mean, if we think that they're going to guard Durant well, I mean, that doesn't really leave a whole lot. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of Simmons to Kyrie Irving, type plays going on out there. So
I
don't know. We'll see.
King of Smack wanted to know Harden, Towns, Gobert. I mean, I can see that. Again, I'm not going the Towns Gobert direction because I think it's going to be such a blowout. But I do like Harden. So to answer that question, you like those three guys, right, Crash?
Which three?
Harden, Towns, and Gobert.
Harden and Gobert. I don't really like Towns.
You're not on the cat bandwagon. Okay. And then as far as I saw another question there, Crash can't fade the Jazz today. No, I knew he would be. People are going to be sucked into that Jazz team a little bit early. But
Houston's just not. I don't know. They're
no,
just
they don't defend. They
team.
suck on defense. Yeah. Skyler says Clax attack. So he's with me on the Claxton play.
How much is he? He is.
Was Aldama in foul trouble the last game? Were you looking that up? Dogan SS. How are you?
I was going to ask you about that because I figured you were probably watching that game. It got blacked out where I live, so I couldn't even watch it. So
I can pull it up and look unless you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Then let's see. I saw one other question. Oh, Doug L's also passing on Ben. I mean, I'm surprised he's that high owned. That's shocking to me. I thought somebody else had a good question that I thought was very valid. I could be just dreaming again. That's always a possibility. Yeah, I mean, Aldama is priced right. Certainly risk. Much more of a GPP play, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. And 5 fouls. Yeah.
And I thought so. And that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have the last game, I believe. I don't think there's anybody else in that one we want to go over. So it is the should be a great one too. Denver Nuggets 2-1 at the Portland Trailblazers 3-0.
Right.
Man, are they playing well out of the gate with their new squad. Gillespie out for Denver. Winslow, I don't think he's going to play. He's questionable. I thought I read he's out, so I'm not going to play Winslow. Peyton, Sarr, and Watford also out for Portland. This game is a 4.5-point Denver favoritism here on the road against the undefeated Trailblazers. That'll be a little extra billboard info for Portland. And it's a 226 total. So right on that cusp of, being potentially some good plays. Is this a Royce night, RJ? Do not go with Royce. I know he's getting ownership, Mr. Royce O'Neal. Yeah. I get it. He's getting minutes. They're playing him a ton. I'll
give you my prediction for Royce O'Neal tonight. He's going to have 18 fantasy points.
All right. There you go. So if you need 18, RJ, you got your man. Bruce Brown. Where are these people? Are people drinking? It's Monday. You can't be drinking already.
Bruce Brown. What's he looking like ownership wise? Let me see.
He's looking like no. Let's just say pass.
2.5% owned.
Winslow is out. Thank you, Doug L. I thought I read that. Hey, great group in here. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. Awesome to have you. If you haven't said hello yet, say it because I'm going to give another set of tickets away here in a few minutes. All right, Crash, let's break this game down like nobody's business.
All right. Nikola Jokic is too expensive for me. 10.9 on Draftkings, 11.2 on Fanduel, $57 on Yahoo. I'm just not going to have the salary to get to him. I don't think he's a bad play. He's so expensive. On Fanduel and Yahoo, I like Jamal Murray. He looked a little bit better in his last game against the Thunder. And, I think at some point it's all going to come back to him and kind of want to be ahead on the crowd there before he does become what we, used to see in him. At 5,500 on Fanduel, that's one of my favorite plays on that site. So I like Jamal Murray. And then on the Portland side, Dame Lillard has looked good so far this year. And I think Josh Hart is a little too cheap. He's 5,600 on DraftKings, 59 on FanDuel, and $19 on Yahoo. That's my take. A couple guys from each side.
All right. I faked everybody out on my pay up, even because I have 2 pay ups today.
Okay.
I'm putting all my chips in the middle, and I'm expecting a joker to be turned. And it's going to be the Joker. I love him in this game. Nurkic was his understudy. He always likes playing great against him. They're going to need everything he's got. Murray's not 100% to me yet. Pope's not a scorer. Porter's so-so. Gordon disappears. Again, Giannis, Luka, Joker. Those guys, I think if you can get one of them on every slate, I think you got to grab one of them. Those other two guys I mentioned aren't playing tonight. This is a guy that can get 75 or 80. And I think this game is going to be close enough, high enough scoring that he can get it. So there's enough cheap guys around that, if I have the guts to fade the Philly guys like I'm possibly going to do, fading those Boston guys, fading that Minnesota San Antonio game because I think it's going to blow out. I'm going to put my chips on the Joker, Morant, build some guys around him. I just think Joker's too good to pass up. So it's a warning for our members, because here's the deal. We are not going to be in the top 25% from 8 till 10 o'clock or whatever. We have to wait.
Right.
So it's going to be stressful. But when you see those numbers just piling up for the Joker, we're going to blow by people like they're not even standing, like they're standing still. So I just think, to me, 10-9 is too cheap. I think in this type of matchup with this pace, I think that I would pay 11-9 for him. I know it does make it difficult, but there are so many cheap guys. And I mentioned them throughout the show that you can get a Garuba or an Olynyk or Claxton or these guys. You can find guys that I think will do just fine that may let you get to these other players. And I just think you're going to need him. I think he's going to be a difference maker. I think he's going to be the highest scorer on the slate. I know that's no hot take because he's got the highest projections, but he's not getting that much ownership considering.
No. And speaking of that, on Yahoo at 1.8%, I might have to readjust my lineup just to get him in there at 1.8%.
I think it'll go up a little bit. Yeah. But those are the kind of anomalies. If you don't play Yahoo, play Yahoo. And Deb, if she's still on, she's been bugging me, and I'm so sorry because she's right. I have such a great ROI on Yahoo. It's been phenomenal this baseball season. I just haven't had the time to pull all that out and post it. But it's because you can find anomalies like this on Yahoo where you're going to get some $10 and $12 players like we talked about earlier. And then you can get the Jokers in there at super low ownership. It's a perfect scenario where if you're playing some of these higher dollar 10 guy contests or those type of things, you really can smash it on Yahoo. So yes, DraftKings and Fanduel have the best as far as most contests, best, different options of what you want to play, but don't sleep on Yahoo because you can really do well there also.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes. And yeah, there's Deb. She's saying it, and it took forever to get her to convince to play Yahoo, and she's been smashing it ever since. So there are definitely some edge there that people don't want to bother to play. And again, don't forget, there's a lot of different pricing on these sites, where like I wouldn't even consider $7,300. Who was it that we talked about earlier? Way underpriced. Not
Markkanen.
No.
On Fanduel, he's 7,300.
No, it was a point guard early on.
Oh, Van Vliet.
Right. He's super underpriced on DraftKings, where I may play him. Zero chance on Fanduel and Yahoo at his price. So you got to look at those.
It's the opposite. 8,600 on DraftKings and 73 on Fanduel.
Okay, that's what I meant. You know what I'm saying. So the point is, thank you for correcting me on that. You got to look at that pricing, and you can't just plug one guy in all your lineups across the board. You got to double check those if you're playing multiple sites, because that is another way people get lazy or they get crunched for time and they just jam guys in and it doesn't fit. So you have to be able to pivot to a few of those guys. So, all right. Any other questions? Okay. Crash, do you want, I know this is an impromptu, throw out, but do you want to do a two brains real quick?
Sure.
Do we want a two brains? We won't bother people's time. Let's give me a yes or no. If you want a two brains GPP Fanduel built, we can do it right here in chat. And then I'll give away the other two tickets. Let's see. Let's get a yes or no. Who want yes? Earl Tyson has made the decision.
Nobody.
Oh, Mr. Fanduel.
No one's
I knew Earl.
That.
Earl's a lock. That was the lock of the day right there. Earl Tyson saying yes to Fanduel.
All right, Coach. So I think you had the first pick the other day, or did I?
Go ahead. You got it.
I'm going to take your guy. I'm going to take the Joker.
Wow. I talked you into it that much?
You did.
Good Lord. All right. So let me, I really have to get to work here because I wasn't prepared. I just decided this on a whim. So let's see here. Upcoming, you're going to take the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is going to strap us and it's going to be difficult, but we found a way in the past. And that's where I need Deb because she saves all the. Oh, no, Deb spends the money. You're the cash saver.
I am.
I'm going to take Ja Morant.
Ooh, okay.
I know it hurts.
Right, I'll take Garuba.
Okay, Garuba.
Power forward.
Usman, 4,100 bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with power forward. No, I can't do it. He's a little too much. I take that back. I got to be, we're only 57.67 per man. So I can't get crazy here. By the way, I was looking at Nick Claxton there. I like him a lot today, but he's a little 6,700 is a bit much.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the pricing in line here. How about, what's his number? Let's go with flat $6,000 Cole Anthony.
Okay.
Still keeps us, as long as we're in that over 5,500 per guy, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I'll take Aldama at the other power forward.
Yeah. Okay.
4,400, so that should help.
Yep. You're saving the cash like always. I can always count on you to save the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take $5,900 Josh Hart.
Okay.
I like that last game to get some action. I think it's going to be high scoring. So we're still in good shape. Let's see. Don't like him. Oh, I got my next guy. I'm ready for my next pick.
Okay, go ahead.
$6,300 Jalen Green.
Okay.
So you got the last two guys and 12 grand to spend. So we're not in that bad of shape.
No. I'll take Terry Eason. And Banchero.
Oh, I'm glad you took Banchero. So we got a young squad here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must have somebody in the wrong spot. Let's see here. Eason qualifies at shooting guard.
Or small forward. That's where I have him.
Oh, I Josh Hart in the wrong spot then, huh?
I don't know that it matters as long as they're interchangeable.
Yeah, let me make sure that it.
Oh, they're not. They're not.
Oh,
so
okay.
Eason's only small forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have $200 left. So here we go, everybody. This is your. Let's all play it. Split a big pot and chat it up. Ja Morant, Cole Anthony, Jalen Green, Josh Hart, Tari Eason, Paulo Banchero, Usman Garuba, Santi Aldama. Man, we've got the real
names here.
And Nikola Jokic. So we've got some all foreign guys, mostly a lot of guys from overseas.
Yeah.
And that leaves you $200. So if it changes, if anybody gets scratched, we will post it on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk for anybody there that's not a member. And certainly we will post it in Discord. All right. The last winner. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter. And, we really appreciate this. If you follow us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and you see us post some stuff, we're going to have giveaways, flash giveaways. We've been doing it with members for people that like and retweet. I always hate to put on there, like and retweet, blah, 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 for this, that, and the other thing. I just, If you believe in us, you feel like you're getting some winners from us, we just appreciate it. It takes 2 seconds. Hit that like, hit that retweet. That means a lot to us. So if I call your name real quickly, jump on Twitter, DM us at DFS Coach Talk. And if you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. We've had a big number in here today. Let's get that thumbs up for everybody. And then hit the subscribe alert in the upper corner. We would really, really appreciate that. All right, the second set of tickets, and you can send me the information here, and I'll get it right to you right after the show. The winner is Doug L. Doug L is the winner of the second set of tickets. Congratulations, Doug L. So hello to the new people. Thank you for our regulars. And we're going to grow this. We're going to be a huge 445 every day NBA. We're that all week. And we're going to stay in this slot. We're going to dominate it. And we appreciate every one of you.
Real quick, Coach, I want to address one question that I saw in the chat.
Sure.
Somebody asked why we don't do a Draftkings 2 brains are better than one. Do you want to go on, explain that real quick?
Yes. Draftkings has very stringent rules where they don't allow providers to give out full lineups. And they will ban people for doing that, and they have. I know some that have been. And we follow the rules here at Coach Talk. I mean, we want to be here the long run, long term. So, we give out core builds on DraftKings, but obviously we couldn't build a full lineup on here because DraftKings would not allow that. Fanduel and Yahoo are fine with it. So we do provide full lineups there.
Maybe we'll do someday. Yahoo. Yeah, we'll do Yahoo sometime.
I was just going to say we should do a Yahoo one of these days because I love Yahoo anyway.
Yeah.
So excellent. All right. Anything else that we have to look at?
I think that's it. We got about an hour before lock. So
do you want to review our pay up value and fade real quick?
Yeah. For me, my pay up is James Harden. My value is site dependent. It is Jamal Murray on FanDuel, Santi Aldama on Yahoo and DraftKings. And my fade is Jakob Poeltl.
Okay. My fade is going to be Gobert. My play is my buy up is the Joker and / Jaw as a sidekick. And my value play is the highest owned guy on the slate, Kelly Olynyk. He'll probably squeeze in there, too cheap for the minutes he's getting, and we know he can play it well. So Garage Junkie Productions, you missed it, man. That's okay. You can re-listen, and we are on every day at 4:45, so you can catch us on time. Work and puppy grandpa killing me. Oh, man, you got a lot stacked up there, Garage Junkie. So we'll get you in here, and you can re-listen. What does it take? How long to post Crash afterwards?
Oh, it's already up. Like as soon as we're done here, it'll already be up. So it doesn't. It doesn't. Since we're doing live streams, it doesn't take any time at all now. So
yeah. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll certainly be back tomorrow at the same time, like I say, all week long. And tomorrow, Deb joins me. And then we'll go from there. And then Crash, you'll get to watch Crash with no hat as the Rockets win tonight. And that'll be fun on Wednesday. So, all right, everybody. Thanks, Crash. Great job. Everybody have a great day. Let's crush it. Let's all hit that FanDuel one, split it, and make some money. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. We'll catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS and Boom Fantasy.